Greetings, programs, and welcome to a video I've been putting off, I admit. My setup is not that great for fairly large figures, and this is the second largest figure I own. But I figured, what the heck, let's just go for it and show off this guy. So making his grand return after like 15 plus years, here we have Ultra Class Energon Megatron. And yeah, this thing is insane, and I absolutely adore him. So, bunch of things to go over actually in his sort of spaceship mode thing. First of all, there's the obvious, there's a tank on top of it. As I understand, let's pop this off actually. It does hold on pretty tight. Okay. This is Armada Megatron. So he went from being this big to this big. Yeah. So, this is actually going to be two of his weapons in robot mode, so I'll cover those when we get there. Worth noting, he does have a couple little Minicon ports, that's what they're called. And right here is where the tank clips on, so when the tank is off, you can obviously put more Minicons there. He's got Minicon ports out here on the end of his wings. But yeah, absolutely massive figure. Sort of visible head syndrome, I guess. While I both wish they could have hit it, I also don't know how they really could have with this design and everything. So it's whatever. While I've got them upside down, I will show the landing gears. Each one's got, well, the front one's got two little wheels, and there's one slightly bigger wheel on the back ones. They do fold in for while he's turning you into your inner 5-year-old and you start flying him around your office. Admit it, that's a thing that happens if you have this figure. Well, I don't have any. He does have a small Decepticon insignia right here, recessed down in that hole. And you can clip on the Energon shards or whatever. I actually don't know what they're called. I don't have any of them. All I know is there was weird little Energon bits you could plug onto these figures. And that's where you plug one on him. Now, this guy does actually have an attack mode while he's here. You just go ahead, pull up this part of the wing, and as you do, this section will extend out, and these will open up. So do that on both sides, and you get almost an X-Wing design, and it's pretty cool, actually. Again, it's insanely big and hard to keep in shot, but it looks really cool. And these guns right here on the side do, you know, turn if you want them to, though generally probably best to just keep them straight. Also, something to keep in mind, you do want to be careful with this clear green plastic on him. This is that PVC that I may have mentioned in earlier videos. It's pretty soft, and so like if you let him sit, you know, and he's actually putting pressure on this, it will bend very easily out of shape. And it can be pretty tricky to get back into position. So, handle with respect. So, get him into his robot mode is very simple, but still very satisfying. So you're going to start, come back here, fold up the wings, then rotate the whole wing section around, like that. come to the back here, and you're going to slide this piece forward, and as it does, there's a lot of spring-loaded stuff on him, so it will pull that down, as well as push this piece out the front, which if I can get a good grip on this guy here to do it, once that's out all the way, he is fighting me like he has never fought me before. Okay, once that's out all the way, it will pop open and form the foot. So you'll just go ahead, do that, straighten the leg out there, keep the landing gear folded up, and then straighten the leg out there. So, same thing on this side, go ahead, push this forward, foot will pop out, straighten it out, turn him around, put him on his feet, try to angle the camera into a place that makes sense. Go ahead and just pull out the arms if they haven't already dropped out on their own like they do sometimes. Fold the guns straight. Come back here to the nose cone that I have no way of keeping in shot. You're just going to want to bring it back on a double hinge here. So he ends up actually kind of having a display handle, which is handier than you'd think it is. And just go ahead, fold the head back, and stand up the horns. And there you have Energon Megatron. And this thing is just ridiculous. I'm going to try to, get all of him in shot here for a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, this figure, it lives up to being called Ultra Class. For size, here's Overlord. So, you see, Overlord's basically as tall, but yeah, there's like 8 times as much figure going on here with Megatron compared to Overlord. So, get him out of the way. For his size, this guy does have fairly decent posability, actually. Legs can kick forward all the way. Everything's ratcheted, though not all of them are loud. Can kick back a little bit before the wings and everything get in the way. He does also have a very tight, very loud knee joint. It goes to 90 degrees, though it barely changes anything because it's so high up on the leg. And that last click can be a little bit tricky to get done. Shoulders rotate, really tight ratchet. Really tight ratchet on the elbows as well. Again, everything tight because it's got massive weight to support. He does have outward movement on the arms. As well as, while you don't really notice while you're transforming him, the fists, or at least while you're going to robot mode, the fists are spring-loaded. So, while we were transforming him, these just popped out on their own. And so, yeah, that is the main man himself. As you can see, he's very much got a Galvatron design going on. And there is, of course, a repaint of this, which turned him into Galvatron. I think all 3 versions of Megatron from the Unicron trilogy actually did get Galvatron repaints. Because, of course, they did. But, anyway, if you want, you can still open up the wing and activate the attack mode. Though it's quite pointless and invisible while he's like this. But you can. It's possible, so that's cool, I guess. Oh, and his head does turn It's like the only joint that's not a ratchet. Forgot to mention that. So, on his arms, you'll see this kind of a weird molding going on. That is where you attach this. So, before we attach this, just know the sword is detachable, and it actually slots down in the back of the nose cone, so you can actually leave it there while it's in jet mode. Then it locks into place, and this little button is what unlocks it to come out. I just leave it in the jet in the back of the tank. And this is also where all of his lights and sounds are. So the tank itself has the battery pack. So the first one is just if you click the sword like it's hitting something and, you know, being pushed back. It makes a fairly loud sound and flashes right there at the Decepticon insignia. In the dark, more of it flashes, obviously, but for sure, you'll always see it right there. Then the other one is right here. When you fire this little blue missile, this is the reason that I usually try to avoid the fact that this tank exists. So, that is the sound it makes. So as you saw, if I'm careful, I can push just a little bit. And get it to fire the missile without making the sound. But yeah, that sound, too long. There's a reason that if I am feeling like putting batteries in this, I also just leave it on his back the whole time. But anyway, so to actually attach it, you will open up these two panels down here, and then either snap it onto his arm this way, if you want the sword, or this way, if you want the gun. So I'm going to go fusion cannon gun mode. Just work it a little bit. Can be a little bit fussy to get this to go on, but eventually it'll slide over. It'll lock into that groove right there on his arms. You can put it on either arm, but I always go on this side. And then, I forgot to actually, but you also can fold this little piece up right here, and you get kind of a little targeting scope that is completely pointless, but it's there, so it must be mentioned. Go ahead and get the missile out of the way here. And yeah, the missile is just really simple blue missile. Nothing too special going on here, but yeah, this guy is insane. He is gigantic. He weighs a ton, and he is totally incredible. He has been one of the centerpieces of my collection ever since I got him. And highly, highly recommend picking this guy up if you get a chance. There is also actually a downscaled Voyager edition of him that came in a 2-pack with a version of Energon Optimus as well. I believe that version is lacking electronics. Though when I am done with this video, this one will also be lacking electronics, as I'm ripping the batteries out of the tank and never putting them back in. But, yeah, loud, obnoxious noises aside, definitely pick this guy up and just watch him tower over 90% of your collection. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.